Hi everyone, I'm Zach and I'm a sports coach, and I wanted to talk with the parents out there who have children with special needs, particularly those kids who want to be involved in activities such as sports or athletics. And I want to talk to the parents because, from a coaching side, it is so very important that the parents be upfront about whatever conditions their children may have as they enter into, a new sport or enter into a new program. Now, I was recently reading a post from a colleague who was talking about an athlete that they've been working with, and this athlete is in high school now and looking at the recruiting process for college. And their parents didn't want to tell the college coach that their athlete had autism, that their child was autistic. And after reading this post, it really kind of hit me that maybe a lot of parents don't quite understand or know the other side of the sports and from the coaching perspective. So I wanted to kind of give that to you a little bit here. And from a coaching perspective, it's so very important that you have open communication as a parent with the coach from day one. If your child is interested in a program, approach the program, approach the coach, and let them know, hey, my son or daughter is interested. They really are intrigued with this sport and they want to learn more, they want to participate. And just wanted to let you know that they have this special need that they have. They might be autistic or Down syndrome or ADD or ADHD, and it's important to get that communication started from day one. And as a coach, we highly recommend that we very much so respect a parent coming forward like that, especially early on in this process, so that we can better handle the situation and prepare for a successful environment for their child. Now, many kids with special needs have different triggers, if you will, and they may not be able to look you directly in the eye, and some coaches would take that as a sign of disrespect or they don't care, and it has absolutely nothing to do with that. It just has to do with them not physically being able to look them in the eye when they're speaking. However, they are fully capable of mentally processing what they're saying. They're hearing what they're saying. They can go repeat exactly word for word what they're saying. But we as coaches, if we don't know that or don't understand that, then it's hard for us to really communicate effectively with someone with special needs. So it's important to be upfront about that, because there are some coaches who for whatever reason are not equipped to handle kids with special needs, especially if they are autistic and they have certain triggers that may, present them with a challenging situation. Nothing against the coach, however, they just haven't been taught, the right ways to handle certain situations or don't know how to handle them, or it could be as simple that they just don't have the patience to handle something like that. And that's okay too, but why would we want to put your child in a situation that is more detrimental in the process than we could have been prevented from day one? Now, I've coached, a lot of kids with special needs, and they are fully capable of learning just like everyone else. And I've also worked with a lot of coaches who, some are better than others at dealing with kids with special needs. And so especially when they're younger and doing like a gymnastics or, swimming or diving, there are some coaches who are better than others at handling that. And from a program perspective, I want to give your son or daughter the best chance possible to have a positive experience in the sport so that they can keep, coming back and they want to come back. And so if I can place them with a coach that is more equipped or better to handle that, then I would much rather do that than 2 months in, find out your kid hates it, they don't want to come back, and this is the reason why, when it could have been prevented from day one. Now, I know part of the stigma is that, you as parents don't want your child to be treated differently. 100% agree with that statement. No child should be treated differently, especially because they have a special need. However, treating them differently is very different than teaching them differently. And if they're a good coach, they will be teaching them differently. And from the outside perspective, it may seem like they're treating them differently, which I totally understand and get, but it may be that they're simply communicating in a different way than they do for other kids. And as a coach, and I coach very individualized kind of sports, not necessarily team sports like you'd see basketball or soccer, but more of individual, here's what you can do. And so, individualizing the way that we coach or teach a child is the best way to go. And so it may again seem like they're being treated differently, but they should still get the same opportunities as every other kid out there. But they might be taught differently. They might communicate differently. And so because the child will communicate differently, we have to, as coaches, communicate differently with them than we do with other kids. And so again, it may not be that they're treated differently, but that they are taught differently. And those are very two distinct things that sometimes, from an outside perspective or from a parent's perspective, if you're watching a practice, it might seem like they are being treated a little differently. But, again, I hope that's not the case. I hope that, they're just being taught differently or communicating differently. If they are actually being treated differently, that is not okay, and I am totally against that. But again, I want to reiterate, have that open communication because we want to set your child up for success. And from a program and coaching perspective, if I know that coming in and I can communicate with the parents on, okay, here's what their triggers are. Okay, great, we can avoid those particular situations. We can put them in a more positive light. I need to communicate this way, or the child can't look me in the eye, but they understand what I'm saying. They can hear me, they're listening. Great, I can deal with that, no problem. Again, we want to make the best situation for each child, and no one right way is the best way. And everybody has their own unique challenges and characteristics and personalities, and we just want to make sure we do what's best for each individual child. So again, keep the communication going. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Zach. I'm a sports coach. I coach a couple different sports, and I've been working with kids for quite a while now, for many years, and I've been able to handle and deal with kids of different natures, different special needs, as well as full-fledged teams. So I have a pretty good understanding of finding ways that we can make it work for everybody, both the coach, for the child. We want to make a cohesive group, make it a positive environment, a positive experience for everyone. So feel free to reach out, send me a message. I will be returning all the messages that I can, and hopefully you guys get a little bit something out of this.